My dad always told me to get a good education. It's something nobody can take away from you.
Phil took a new full-time job at the Kroger grocery store. This job allowed him to take classes at Danville Community College and later at Averett University.
I had a friend at Kroger. His name was Mike Burns, and Mike had wrecked this Jeep. At some point he was going to put it back together and was going to drive it some more. So finally, he and I talked about it enough. I asked him, "Well, I'll buy it from you." And,
it was just a pile of parts.
If you'll help me put it together, we'll be okay. So I bought it from him. We spent a lot of time working on the Jeep. We'd go out and work on it on weekends and put it together. And finally got it all put together. And the big challenge was getting a sticker, an inspection sticker on it. It was a 1953, I think, Willis military Jeep. Didn't have turn signals.
The steering wheel would turn all the way around.
Had a lot of play in the steering wheel.
And for me to put on brakes, I would actually have to almost stand up to put on brakes. It's very dangerous. It was.
I ended up selling that Jeep to come up with the money to pay my tuition for the first semester at Averett College. Boy, I love that Jeep.
Hard work, sacrifice, and perseverance. No matter how tough it was, Phil got it done.
He did it lunch hour, supper hour. He arranged a schedule around it so he could go back.
I would take a class at lunchtime, either an 11 o'clock class or a 12 o'clock class. And so I'd leave work, jump in my car and go off to class. And would generally have to come right back. And then I'd usually take one class at night or maybe two classes at night.
Between work and family, the going was slow. After a decade of hard work, Phil Berger became the very first member of his family to graduate from college. But he had an even greater goal in mind: law school.
My dad and mom were still alive at that time, and I know he was very proud. I had finished college, and we knew I was going to be able to go to law school. He bought me it's a little statuette of it looks like a guy in a judge's robe holding some books, and I've still got it on my desk. It's something that I know it meant something to him, and means a lot to me.
When he decided to go to law school, I knew nothing about it. It was something he decided, and we were on our way to Greensboro one day, and he just came out and said, "I want to go to law school." Floored me. For your husband to quit his job to go back to school when you got two kids, that's not something most people do.
We had two children. Both of them had started school. We were going to sell our house. I was going to quit my job, moved her away from her mom, and we moved into an apartment that didn't have a lot of room.
Being in law school and raising a family is tough, but Pat and Phil did what they had to do to make it work. Pat worked full-time. Phil went to school and painted apartments at night to make sure the rent got paid on time. Phil Jr. remembers.
We didn't know exactly what law school was, but we did understand that it was something that required a lot of his time. Even though he had a great deal of work to do, a lot of studying to do, he was always there for us.
He would come home every day from school and keep the kids when they got out of school until I got off work. Then he would eat his supper, and then he would go back to school and stay till midnight.
Many times I'd leave the apartment and go study for a while and then come back and paint an apartment. We started kind of calculating, okay, how long can we do this?
Looking back, they struggled. They had to make sacrifices, and a lot of the times we got things when they didn't. My dad's earned everything he's gotten, and I've been right there with him all along. So it's been a lot of fun to be able to see what he put into becoming a lawyer, becoming a member of the Senate, and being a great father.